Hey, my name is Jake Lester, and I'm in 5510 LTech with you guys. I am doing a fourth grade geometry course for my project. I am not using Canvas. I got permission from a professor to do this. The justification for that is because I do not see any elementary class. I've never been in an elementary classroom that's used Canvas. It's more for higher education. There's some things you can do in Google Classroom that are a little bit easier for kids. And, as the more and more campuses that are going towards the G Suite, it just seems, I know that if I were, on the private side and I made something for elementary school, it would need to be Google Classroom to get sold and accepted. So going into my course here, I've tried to make it look a little bit like Canvas to the best of my ability, but it's going to look pretty different. So it starts off with the course information here, problem and purpose. So geometry is a specific section that Texas students do poorly on. It's out of the four reporting categories, geometry, they underperform year by year. And also, it's just particularly difficult. I mean, it's a basis for a lot of the different things for a lot of different professions. And it's really important that kids understand this stuff on their own. And when you look at, the difficulties of a distance course or a technology-based course, the instructor is not going to be there to always answer your questions in the middle of an assignment. Obviously, you're going to get some feedback from professors, but these kids typically, your elementary school is a lot of direct instructions. So that said, the purpose is to address that. I also have taught kids as a special educator who require distance learning because they have health problems like cystic fibrosis that keeps them out of the classroom. So all that said, the thought is to make an engaging course that allows kids to show what they know in an online setting, and that gives them a good level of direct instructions options so that they are mastering course objectives. So let's look at module 1. This is the introduction. One of this whole King Dubio thing. This is throughout the course. Each module will have a problem they need to solve. A PL that's around this character, this King Dubio character. So I'm going to show you the Powtoon that kind of introduces it. A lot of the things that trip kids up on geometry at this age is the fact that they kind of jump to wrong conclusions. So I thought, let's create this character, and he's going to jump to the wrong conclusions, and the kids have to correct what he's done because kids love to correct adults. So it's a little bit silly, but make up a fake kingdom. I used Powtoon. It's a really cool way to make little videos. There's a lot of templates to make it pretty simple. Leaving them sort of in this sort of world. Here's this kind of doofy King Dubio guy. And just sort of sets the stage. He's taken over. He's got some bad ideas about math and everything. He's kind of lazy stuff, and so kind of get the kids, hopefully thinking it's pretty funny or silly or whatever, and just get them kind of understanding. So that's all that. He's very bad at math, so that leads to this first task that they're supposed to think about as they go through this first module, and then they will write a letter to King Dubio kind of correcting him. So, his problem is that he thinks that a line of sight, he wants, I'm kind of running out of time here, but he thinks that a line of sight has to have no endpoints because he's read about geometry and he knows that, well, they say I have a line of sight from my castle to the mountain. Well, in order for me to have a true line of sight, there should be no endpoint. So I'm going to blow up the back of my castle. I'm going to blow up the mountain. And so the kids are going to write a letter to him saying, hey, that's silly. There's more than just the concept of a line in geometry, and there's line segments, there's rays, so just because someone says a line of sight doesn't mean it necessarily has to be. And so other things like that there's a vocabulary within geometry that's different. They'll also be participating in Prodigy Math, which is an online multiplayer game. I obviously didn't create it. But the teacher will take them through how to set that up, and that's something they'll do on their own time. This is sort of an intro activity that they'll do where they will kind of put their place in the universe Google Classroom lets you make templates of things. They can fill in their information for that. So they'll say which state they're in, introduce themselves in other ways, and each uh, module also has like a little quiz on it that for the vocabulary, and then finally they'll do a little Padlet reflection where I have a little example here. They'll answer like a few questions and post on the good stuff, kind of like how we do discussions in Canvas. So that's sort of it. I have obviously the 2 first modules finished, as you can see, and I've kind of stopped there and getting bogged down by vocabulary quizzes. So I've finally finished all those through module 9. I have 10 done. I just haven't posted yet. And so my next thing is to go back through and keep updating the King Dubio PBL stuff and add some, the direct instruction. And, I feel really behind, honestly, but I think I can make it. Thank you.